right here. As you can see, it is day 56 of 66 days in a row. We are going to do some dual hand reading practice today, both my range and the villain's range. So we have Poker Tracker looking at showdown hands right now on the button. Let's take a look here. I was wondering if I had any bet re-raise hands worth looking at here. That's all raising, folding. You can see it just goes alphabetical. Bet raise call, bet raise bet, and then nothing happens on the river. That might be an interesting one to look at right here. But I want to get some full street by street action when it comes to the raising. Yeah, just giving us extra practice narrowing down. Although, you know, it would be interesting. We can actually, yeah, let's do this one. Come to think of it. And the reason why is because, sure, it looks like we're going to get it in on the turn before the river happens. But, you know, with so much aggressive plays going on, it might allow us to, on the earlier streets, really narrow down ranges big time. So let's just give it a shot. Haven't done one of these yet with so much aggression on a particular street. So 87829 All right, so we are on the button. See what happens here. We open the pot, lovely, and one caller. So, very loose passive player. LP 33.5 SB calls, BB folds. We are heads up to the flopperooski here. So, before we get there, of course, we want to see what is my raising range pre-flop. Barely been at the table, just 8 hands. Kind of just getting a feel for this stuff. We have a super loose passive player and another loose passive. I want to play as many hands as I can in position versus these two. So I'm opening here with a super wide range. So, of course, we've got our Flopzilla windows here. And then I opened this up the other day. The other day I got it in pre-flop. I had pocket queens, and my opponent, who was seeming a bit tilty, got it in with king jack offsuit pre-flop. And as you can see, I had 72% equity. I was just taking a look at those, hand versus hand, what the equities were. And hey, pretty darn good equity. Got to be happy getting it in like that. So my 2-bet range, like, I really do want to play as many hands with these two opponents as I can. Let me bring up that table again here. All right, so as you can see, super loose passive. We want, this is a great table to be on. We got a lag to our right and a tight aggressive further to the right, borderline loose aggressive right here. 2 lags, I guess we can say. But this is great. We got these, oh, darn, he is a short stack, though, big stack. No wonder we're able to get it in so early because he only has a $4 stack there. But, you know, might as well do some hand reading anyway. So I'm trying to get it in, not get it in, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get involved in as many hands as I can with these weaker players. Definitely every ace, every pocket pair. 4-3, 5-3, 6-4 occasionally I'll open and 5-4 occasionally, so I will include them in this time. All the suited queens, I'll often be raising the suited queens here too. I'll go down to 9-6, maybe not 8-5. This looks good. All these offsuit 9s, I'm often opening the offsuit 9s. 8s is normally where I stop it, but I will find myself, if I'm dealt 8-7 offsuit right here, I'm definitely opening it. 7-6 is maybe the cutoff. Sometimes I'll fold, sometimes I'll open. All these aces, I probably won't open every single king. So I'm going to give myself a pretty wide range, 44% range right here. As you can see, 578 combos. Now let's take a look at his calling range. Of course, right away we see that he is a super loose passive player. We can actually see how often he decides to call out of the small blind here. His call 2-bet is 29%. So we want to give him somewhere around 29 to 30%. 33% even would be a decent calling range. 33. He's probably calling 9s and 10s, seeing how passive he is, possibly even calling jacks. So let's give him those. Let's give him these. I mean, this guy is so loose passive. Let's take a look. How much has he 3-bet so far? 0 out of 61 instances, 0 3-bets so far. He doesn't like to 3-bet. He's really only 3-betting those. Queens are better, and the ace kings. Let's give him all these as calling hands. Yeah, he would call with, and then maybe all these offsuit nines we can remove. And all the broadways he's calling if he's not 3-betting with them. Calling all the aces, queen deuce. I think this is a pretty good calling range for him. We could go slightly wider. We could throw in the 9-6, maybe not the suited jacks and 10s. He could be the kind of player that calls every suited hand. I don't know. I don't want to just go super, super wide to start with. He is also a short stack. Whoops, where'd it go? He is also a short stack, so he's really capable of if he hits any kind of pair, any kind of draw, probably getting it in here. But he might not be going super wide with his short stack. Well, at least stick with this for now. If we're wrong, so be it. We're wrong, and we'll learn from it, and we'll make a note on the player that he's capable of calling as a short stack in the small blind with 7 deuce or 6 deuce suit or whatever he might have. So we're looking at 488, 37 combos. Or 37%, I mean, 488 combos. Now, these are the ranges we're setting here. We've got 44%, he's got 37%. As you can see, it's a 50-50 chop right now. As of right now, we're just going to go, that doesn't mean chop in the pot, you know. It just means I have a 50% chance of winning and he has the 50. We're slightly ahead, I guess probably because we have the aces, kings, and queens in our range and he doesn't have them in his. What happens on to flop, king 8-4, spade, heart, heart. So on this flop right here, you could see it's not the wettest of boards. There's no open enders available. There's just gut shots available. Sure, there's the flush draw, but there's no like pair plus draw kind of stuff. Well, I guess you have king X of hearts can, but really there's not so much for us to be concerned with. But even on this hard to hit board, we have only 51% equity, so it's still a 50-50 shot right now. Our range, wider range, hits the board 23% of the time. Remember, hitting his top pair better, open end a straight draw better, and these combo draws. Down here, he hits 21% of the time, so our range hits just a little bit more often. So things are looking good for a cbet bluff at this point, if we didn't hit anything really good. He checks, and we make a slightly under half pot bet. It makes me feel like I don't really have much of anything, but I could be betting to get him to commit right there. And he makes a min raise, and we re-raise, and he just calls. Look at that. Calls half of his stack off right here. This is weird. This is some a flush draw or a random king, right? I mean, is he really going to do this with like 10-8? Possibly, but highly doubtful. So the order of action was cbet, a min raise, a min re-raise. So I must really like my hand actually to be doing this because I'm wanting him to commit. There's no way I'm making a re-raise bluff over a super loose passive player who just raised me because he's not folding anything. I'm only doing this for value. It could be king X of hearts, like I said, pair plus a flush draw too, but I highly doubt it's like ace queen of hearts. I'm not playing this way. I think if I want to bluff him, I'm just shoving it all in on that 3-bet right there. So what do I have that I'm really trying to get him to commit in this instance? Sets, totally doing that. 2-pair, yep, doing that. Overpairs aces, yeah, sure, why not doing that, especially if I have the ace of hearts for a backup draw. But any of the aces, I'm playing this way. Because he's such a loose passive player, he's capable of calling off with kings, maybe even with a random 8 at this point. But I think really I've got a value hand. Pocket pair below, I don't see any reason, of course, to cbet, and then cbet call on the king high flop, but I don't see a cbet and then min 3-bet, no. Mid pairs, no. Flush draws, I'm not playing this way with flush draws. I'm taking those out. Don't have any open. I'm not playing this way with gut shots. The initial bet and then a call with flush draws and some of these other hands possible. But like really pair flush. Oh yes, doing it with all those. But those are already in my top pair range, so I don't really need to have that highlighted. As you can see, I'm doing this with 94 combos. If I click this, it doesn't go up to 104 combos because those combos are already included up here. So really, I'm doing this with just a value range. There's no way I have any kind of bluff at this point. So that's my range, those 94 combos. What is he checking, min raise, and then calling us on this flop? Sets, totally. Maybe he thinks that if he shoves, instead of just calling, that we're going to get scared and fold. It's possible. I don't know what he's thinking. He's super loose passive. 2-pair, could be doing it with. Overpair, doesn't have any. Top pair, sure, why not? I've seen many a weaker player play really weird with weird bets and raises with just a top pair hand. Pocket pair below, min raising to try to rebluff us. But then if we re-raised again with a flush draw, he might be able to bet or check raise and then call with a pocket pair. But I'm not going to say middle pairs. I'm not saying he's doing with any of those. Ace highs, no. Weak pairs, no. This stuff is possible, but we'll put in some flush draws, which covers some of those bases there. So he could be check raising with his flush draws. There aren't any open enders. Is he check raising then calling with a weak gut shot? No. 2-card backdoor? No. Flush draw plus. Those are all the random kings, the same kings that we have. If I take all these out and take that out, that's still up here with his top pair. So as you can see, we're basically the same. He might have flush draws in his range because he's so loose passive and doesn't want to fold and is hoping to hit. But then we have a lot of those same nutted hands. So as it stands right now with these ranges now set, we have actually, he has 37%. We have 63 or 63% equity at this time. Things are looking good for us. Loving this situation. 18%, 94 combos. Oh, it was a king of spades, 8 of hearts, and then the 4 of hearts. We had, it didn't change much. We had 51 to 49, if I remember right. Now, my range on the flop is right here. Strictly a value range versus a loose passive player. 18%, 94 combos. Their flop range. Looks like a lot of hands, but really, it's not. It's 25% of the prior street and only 109 combos. So you can see that he has 15 extra combos that we do, but we have more nutted and top pair or better hands, whereas he has a few bluffs thrown in, or semi-bluffs, I guess. Toying the 9 of spades. What does this do to equities? So on the 9 of spades, it doesn't help him out at all. It didn't complete any kind of draw. As you can see, not a gut shot was completed. There wasn't an open ender to begin with. It wasn't a heart. If there was a heart, then things would kind of change and he's barely in the lead. But it's the 9 of spades. Things are looking up for us. He has 33% equity. Loving this. Oh yeah, turn range is right here. So what happens on the turn? Does he shove? He checks. We bet just enough to put him all in. He has 210. We bet 225. So what am I betting here to get him to commit? Not betting flush draws. No way. Some of those top pair hands and stuff. Maybe not top pair. I guess some of my 2-pair hands and stuff or whatever turned into flush draws. Oh, turn. No. They were already flop flush draws. Yeah. I'm doing it with top pair and better. Yeah. At this point, I'm definitely not going to check fold if I have any kind of value here at this point. I'm just going for straight value. Even these top pair hands. Yeah, there's no way I'm giving up any of these. Yeah, I'm just betting, getting it in right now. He only has $2. As you can see, there's $6 in the pot, just 1/3 pot bet. He's calling most of the time, so I'm just planning on value. So that's my range, 100% of my flop range, because my flop range was all value, definitely. Let's see here. His check calling range on the 9, calling straights, calling sets, 2 pairs, calling all his top pairs. See, I mean, at this point, what kind of equity does he need? Like, literally, he only needs 20% equity right here. So if he does have a flush draw, he's probably thinking $2 to try to win $10. I'm going to call. So I will say that he is calling his flush. Oh, that's me. I will say that he's calling his flush draws for sure. Calling his open ender, Jack 10 and 10-7. Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, we'll keep his calling range wide. He has plenty of super weak hands in his range right now. Yeah, let's keep that. So as it stands, he has 94 combos in his range. 89% of the prior street. And then we have 91 combos, 100% of our prior range. So it's this exact same range right here. Yep. Even that 9 of spades didn't block anything in our range. You see our range went from 94 combos to still 94 because we don't have any 9s at all in our range right here. Great. So as it stands, we have 62% equity at this time. We're happy just betting and then having him call. Even if he folds, I mean, so be it. We still want some money, but we would prefer him to call right here because we do have the best hand. King and a 10, 8, 8, 5. King 10 offsuit. Yep, that is in the range, so I've ranged myself accurately. Had the top pair versus a short stack, just willing to get it in for the rest of his money. 8-5 suited. So we had the 8-5 suited in pre-flop. We removed it because... oh my gosh. Okay, so we had the 8-5 in, right? 8-5 is currently a mid-pair hand, and it's the bottom of his mid-pair hand. His mid-pair range. So he has all those random 8s all the way from ace-8 down to 8-5. The bottom of his mid-pair, he decided to check, min-raise, and then call. So this guy is just a super fishy player. I should make a note on him, like value bet only. Rec whale. V-bet only. No point in bluffing this guy. Because seriously, he's not going to fold with even a second pair. No draw. Well, I guess backdoor straight draw, but a crappy kicker. Second pair, no prospects of winning much money because he had a short stack anyway. This is the kind of guy you want to get in and play as many hands with him as you can right there. Cool beans. Oh, now you said it. You had a couple of questions in the Twitch chat here. So, do you still think the split suit template is useful? Yeah, totally. I use it every single time, and I'm looking at it. It gets me thinking about the percentage form and the combos involved. I get to see how the ranges are narrowed from street to street and what the combos goes from based on my actions. As you can see, I went from a wide almost 600 combos down to less than 100. I removed 5/6 of my range. Without this, as you're just going through, and then the 10 of diamonds comes, and then you take these away, and then, whoops, wait, okay, let's just say, dang it. Just imagine, this is the flop with this range right here. Great, so I think that he's calling with all these. It's 27% of his prior street, 118 combos. If I don't remember what was here, I'm not really sure how much I'm narrowing him. The 10 of clubs comes. Well, let's remove these because he wouldn't play that way. Oh, and we have that. And then the 8 of spades comes. Well, I don't think he'd play this way. We narrow that right there. And then we see at the final hand if he had the king 8, the pocket 10s, the 8s, or the 4s. Well, we don't remember because we're just going so quickly. We're not paying attention street by street how the combos and the percentage form, how it's dropping. So I think it keeps combos, combo counting, and percentage form all at top of mind when you continually use these sheets. And so I just like using it. I've just gotten to a habit of using it, and that's why I do it. And then how do you create 2 Flopzilla screens? Let me show you here. Hold on. I need to open up the taskbar at the bottom of this screen. Okay, so let me double check the screen here. Templates. Okay, so now you could see I have the taskbar open at the bottom. All you do is right-click it, or right-click the Flopzilla, hit Flopzilla, and then shebang, another screen pops up. Now this is the third Flopzilla screen, so if you want to hand read 3 people at a time, you just click on this, highlight over it. We have a third screen attached. 5 deuce and 5-3 currently has a 0% equity versus these ranges, And so that's how you do it. Just right click, and then you can open all the way up to 10 windows if you want to hand read 10 foos at a time. It's a lot of work to do. I've never tried that. I've hand read 3 people at once before. I'm just not a big fan of it. It's just a lot of work and a lot of thinking. I prefer just hand reading 2 people at a time. And then basically when you are playing in a multi-way pot, what you want to do is just kind of constrict your ranges. If you're c-betting 60% of the time normally, go down to 50 or 40%. You just want to do things with a tighter range, with stronger hands in general, multi-way. So I don't really range, but hey, go ahead. If you want to range 4, 5, 6 dudes at a time, have at it. Now you said it. Alrighty, y'all, thank you very much for watching today, day 56 of 66 days in a row. I will catch you later, day 57. Peace out.